Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about some of the games that narcissists play through social media. Some of the mind games, okay? I thought it'd be fun to try out this topic that I've been wanting to do when I got this new light bulb because it's so dark in my condo and everywhere I try to film is like pitch black, like the lighting in here is awful. I hope that this works out well. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but this will be my test video, and I've been wanting to talk on this topic, so I just thought I'd try this out today. All right, first thing I want to say is sometimes you might get into a relationship with a narcissist, and they might go the route of saying, let's say you met them outside of social media, and they might go the route of saying, oh, I'm not on social media, but they really are. But what they've done is gone through in the beginning and blocked you so you can't see them because their game is so messy. They can't have your world intertwining on social media because a lot of narcissists are cheaters. Like, that's just the bottom line. Not all narcissists are cheaters, but a lot of them are, I promise you. It's the unfortunate truth. But being that they are disconnected from empathy, they don't really have guilt. They just don't have those feelings that a lot of normal people have. So, and the being that they are constantly on the lookout for fuel, they are constantly wanting to serve themselves, so they're going to cheat because usually one person just can't fill their appetite, right? So, what they'll do is, some of them will do, is just avoid you on social media altogether. So I'll just go ahead and put that out there. But if you either met on social media or you already know that your narcissist is on social media and they haven't gone the route of blocking you, they might leverage social media as a way to hook you in. First of all, by using social media to love bomb their victims. So what you'll see a narcissist do with their victims is using social media, the social media platform, whatever it is, whether it be Twitter, I don't know, Facebook, what have you. They'll start love bombing you on social media. So they might go, if they're on Facebook, let's use Facebook for example, they might start going to your page and might leave little posts on your page. And then they're not going to do it on their page, you know, because they got to keep their options open over there, but they'll go and do it on your page because they're like, want to stake their claim, right? Or what they might start doing is, you know, liking or loving your posts. And it might be the most trivial, ridiculous post ever, but they might just start liking everything. You know, they're planting a seed. They're following you, they're following your every move, and they're just planting a seed. And there's usually a double purpose to that too. But that's what they'll do. Not saying that everybody that goes on your page and likes your post is a narcissist or is even interested in you. I'm not saying that, but narcissists will do this, okay? So, if you suspect someone's a narcissist, you suspect you're being love bombed, this is something they might do. So, you'll notice that they'll just start liking and loving everything. Like I said, it could be the dumbest thing ever, but they're just letting you know they're there and they're watching you, right? And like I said, there's a double purpose to that, and I'll get to that in a minute. So they use it to love bomb you. They'll be inboxing you. They'll be like leaving you little sweet posts, staking their territory. Kind of like a dog marks their territory. Like if you have a dog, you're walking your dog outside, they have to pee over all the other dogs' pee, and like sniffing around, and they're like, ooh, there's some pee that another dog did there. Let me go ahead and lift my leg and put some pee there to mark my territory. They're going to do that, right? 9 times out of 10. So they'll do that. And you're going to be feeling all good and special, and you're going to, you know, they'll do love bombing in other ways, but that's how they kind of use social media to move on in. But they'll do a lot in your inbox because, again, you don't want to be too visible because they like to keep their pool of options open because a lot of times they're love bombing a lot of people, not just you. And a lot of times they already have somebody, because a lot of times with a narcissist, they will already have a primary source of supply, which in other words, a wife, girlfriend, a husband, a boyfriend, what have you, because narcissists are men and women. So they might have to be careful with the way they're doing it. All right. But again, there might be a double purpose. So I'll get to that in a minute. It's so crazy, the mind of a narcissist, but they all operate the same. They have a handbook. There might be little differences and variances, but they do have a handbook. They have a narcissist university they all go to in their dreams or something, because they all operate the same. I tend to think there's some kind of spirit, a spirit that operates in them, and that's why they have the same trends. I digress. The next thing that you'll see is social media is useful for when they're ready to devalue you. Okay? So the same way that they use social media to love bomb you, they'll use it to devalue you. Now, I have a whole video about devaluing, if you don't know what that means, on my channel that I did way back like in July or June. One of those J months you can check out. But that's that period of uncertainty when they're starting to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, right? And they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. That's that crazy making phase, right? They purposely do things to increase your paranoia. They want you to start getting paranoid. They want you to start feeling insecure. They want you to start looking insecure, because they want to look like the stable-minded partner, and they want you to spiral out of control, basically. No, they don't. They want you to look unstable. They want you to feel unstable. They want you to lose sleep because you're constantly thinking about what's happening. That's abuse. And that's what abusers do to their victims. And then you can't think clearly when you're not getting enough sleep. But that's what's going to happen when you're with a narcissist. I'm going to put my reading glasses on so I don't miss anything that might be important, right? Okay? So in the period of uncertainty, so what's going to happen? You'll start seeing on the opposite end, right? So you have the narcissist grooming his or her next victim with the love bombing. You might see them doing the likes and loves on another person's post. Someone you never met. Let's say you're the significant other, wife, boyfriend, whatever. And you start seeing, all of a sudden, your narcissist is liking and loving everything on this person you've never heard of before page. You'll see it like in their recent activity or whatever, and you'll be like, you just can't come across a post that they haven't touched. And they're not really making comments or anything super incriminating. Might just be a like. But it's just like, if they're starting to plant the seeds of doubt. So you're like, okay, first of all, who is this person that just crept up on their page? Like, it just started popping up. Why are they liking every single thing they post? Or like 70% of the things they post. Or loving it. Why do I have a certain kind of feeling about this? You know? But you're going to be spiraling in your mind and thinking, you know, I'm being insecure. I shouldn't question it. If I question it, I'm going to look like I'm insecure. I don't want to do that. I don't want to look unstable, you know? So you kind of just bury things and you let it play around in your mind. You're starting to lose sleep. And it's all over some likes and some hearts. And you know it's not rational. But your intuition is telling you something's off, right? Something's off. And really, honestly, something is off. It's not innocent. And you know it. Because you have a narcissist on your hands. And they're playing mind games with you. They intentionally want you to feel that way. Because they're a narcissist and they get fuel from it. And they're waiting for you to say something to them. So they want you to see those things. So when you come and approach them about it, they can say, you're insecure. Why would you feel that way? It's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. And then the gaslighting starts. These are the things that make you start questioning reality. But they're just playing with your mind. Meanwhile, they are grooming another victim. Or they might just be triangulating you with another person, which is another thing narcissists do, which I'll do a whole nother video about. So they might not even be grooming that person. They might have absolutely no interest in that person whatsoever. But they're triangulating you. Or they're just using that other person to mess with you. Because they know it's going to bother you. Because it's weird. It's out of the blue. It's off. You've never done that before. Why all of a sudden are you liking and putting hearts all over their page every day? People notice patterns, you know, unless you're completely asleep and disconnected and totally non-observant. You're going to notice it, but they want you to. They want you to because it gives them fuel. Craziest thing ever, but I promise you, it gives them fuel. And that's what they live off of. They can't live without fuel. They just don't exist without it. Okay? Another thing they'll do is they'll have their settings, like on Facebook. Use Facebook, for example, because I'm on there. I'm most familiar with Facebook. But they'll have their settings set to where they have to approve all of the tags. So let's say you take a picture together and you tag them. They have to approve it for it to show up on their page. So it might show up on your page, but it won't show up on their page because they'll never approve the tag. Maybe in the beginning of your relationship, when you were in the love bombing phase, they were approving the tags, right? Because you're in the love bombing phase. But then when you get closer to devaluation, or you know, you've already, the narcissist has already successfully groomed you and adopted you into his harem, or adopted you as his primary source of supply, he stops accepting your tags. Because he doesn't want to see. He doesn't want all of his other potential fuel sources to see these tags, these pictures with you, you know. Or let's say it's not even cheating. He just does it to mess with you. Because it gives him fuel. It's going to make you question, why isn't he accepting my tags? Or she. Why hasn't she accepted my tag yet? What's she trying to hide? Why is she trying to hide our relationship? It's to mess with you, right? Okay. Another thing they do, and I had a narcissist that was famous for this. This was my gospel music producer, narcissist. And of course, at the time, I did not know that this person was doing it because I didn't know. I didn't find out till afterwards. But he had his settings set on restricted audience on Facebook. So he had me, he had a couple other girlfriends. But he had me, and then he had at least 2 other girlfriends. I don't know if the third was on Facebook, but I do know for a fact that the second was on his page. So he would make posts that would cater to her and their relationship together and take me out of the audience. So I would never see any of these posts. Then he would do posts, I guess, with me or leave me in it and take her out. So he had restricted audiences going on. And a narcissist might even just have posts where it makes you feel like you're special and everyone knows about you, and you might be the only person in the audience, or maybe like 10 people in your circle. You don't know who's in that audience. But they have special restricted audiences for whoever's in that group of friends or what have you. It's so sick. But they will go that far to keep their lives going. And that's what this gospel music producer was doing, to keep the lies going until we found out about each other and, you know, thankfully didn't take this situation out on each other. We compared notes and we got rid of him because he needed to be ditched. But we learned a lot from the situation and how narcissists operate, and that's one of the things he would do. Restricted audience. Excuse me, I'm so thirsty. I'm always thirsty for water. Of course, along with that, you have, like that guy, for example, he was such a private person. He didn't want to put who he was in a relationship with on Facebook. I mean, he couldn't. Who was he going to put? Now, a person like that might choose to put in a relationship. He might choose to put that. But he would never say in a relationship with so-and-so. Because what about the other girl that thinks she's in a relationship with you? You're isolating her. You can't do that. So you can't name who you're in a relationship with. Meanwhile, let's say he said he's in a relationship. And then I say I'm in a relationship. And she says she is in a relationship. We're all three in a relationship together and don't know it. And nobody's none the wiser because nobody's named in these relationship status. And it's designed to be that way because he's private. He doesn't want to do all that. But he'll pacify you by at least putting in a relationship on there. He could be in a relationship with 10 people. Nobody would know. But more likely than not, a narcissist is probably going to like to say, keep that hidden from the public so you can just be guessing what he is. Is he in a relationship? Is he married? Is he single? You will never know because he's private. He doesn't want people in his business. Or she. Now remember, I'm a woman, so I'm speaking from my experiences. I don't date women. But women are narcissists too. Let me put it out there. There are female narcissists. They don't operate much different. So that's how they do that. So slick, right? Another thing that they might do, which is so crazy, they might have told you all about one of their exes, like how a horrible person they were, or whatever the case is. Most of the time it's not even true stuff. But next thing you know, they might be friends with them on social media, or they might be following them on Twitter, or whatever the case is, and you're like, wait a minute, how did this person just pop back up out of the blue? I thought you hated them. I thought they cheated on you. I thought they were a terrible person. And then they're liking their posts, or starring their things, or putting hearts there. And it's to mess with you. It's to make you question. So when you question things, they're like, why are you stalking my page? Do you not trust me? And they might have zero interest in their ex. Their ex might have zero interest in them because their ex might know they're a narcissist and not really have interest in getting back with them. But it's just to mess with you. Or they might be getting back with their ex because sometimes they'll go back into that harem garage and pick out one of the cars they drove around in the past, dust it off, and want to pull it back out of the harem garage. And they're ready to devalue and discard you. So that might be another reason why they pulled their ex out of the harem garage. Put them back on their Facebook. Follow them on Twitter. Whatever the case is. You never know with a narcissist. But it could just be for a mind game. Because they like to play mind games. They're like the craziest people ever. Another thing they'll do is, let's say for instance you guys used to go out together a lot. Not used to. Like, you always go out together a lot. But in the beginning of a relationship, let's say when you were in love bombing phase, let's say you would go to a restaurant and do a check-in. You know how you can check in your location. But let's say in your might be in your devaluation or on the way to devaluation, and you might go to check yourselves into, oh, we're going to go see this movie. I'm going to check us in. They might not accept the tag, so people can see that you checked in. And you don't want to say anything about it because you don't want to be looked at as insecure, but you notice that they're doing that a lot. Like, this person's not accepting my check-ins anymore. They don't want to show that they were out with me. Why? Well, it could either be because they don't want their standby fuel sources to know they're in a relationship and they're hanging out with you, or they just want to mess with you and want you to question why they're not accepting your tags. Or they might say, well, I just don't want people to know where we are all the time, and I don't like people in our business. I'm a very private person, and it's okay to be a private person. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I don't put all my business on social media, but I'm just saying this is what they're going to say. They're going to be the private people. when it's convenient for them. When it's not convenient for them, they're not going to be that private. It's the craziest thing ever. Another thing they'll do, you know how you can see when a person was last online? Usually, you can see, or if they're online now, or the last time they were online, you might notice that they were last online in the middle of the night when they were supposed to be sleeping or something crazy. And they'll start doing that. And you might think to yourself, if you're in a relationship, you don't live together, so you're not married, and you go online and you're like, he or she was online at 3 a.m. And the first time, you're like, maybe they had insomnia, couldn't sleep, jumped on social media at 3 a.m. But then you notice a pattern that they keep doing it. And you want to say something, but you don't want to look like a stalker. You don't want to look like you're stalking their social media. Because that's what they're going to say. What are you doing stalking my social media? They're going to blame shift. They're going to turn it around on you. Because that's the whole reason why they're doing it. And they're going to, they like to gaslight. Make you question reality. Sometimes they're really not even online doing anything. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they really are online chatting with whoever. Or they could just literally go online just to gaslight you. Just to see when you're going to say something about it. So they can attack you. So they can flip it on you and say, why are you stalking my social media? You don't trust me. Just another thing to push that insecurity in, to just crazy to make you not be able to sleep at night because you're going to be up wondering in the middle of the night, what is he or she doing? Are they talking to someone else? What are they doing in the middle of the night? It's all to make you crazy. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making this up. They literally get fuel from this nonsense. It is what they do. They are an empty shell of a human being. They do not know how to self-validate. And it makes them feel like they have worth when they can do these things to someone and make them go crazy. Also, let's say when everything comes out that they are the crazy person, that they are a narcissist, when everything comes out in the end, they'll still be looking like a stable-minded person, but by then you've been blame shifted, you've been gaslighted, you've been gone down the spiral, not sleeping, sleep deprived. You've literally been questioning reality. You've gone kind of cuckoo. And everyone is going to be looking at you like, you're not balanced. Something's wrong with you. And he or she is going to be looking like the cool cucumber that's stable. There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with you. And that's the whole reason they do these things. I'm not making this up. Another thing that they'll do is they'll do like subliminal posts. So say, for instance, they want to plant seeds of doubt in you. Again, increase your paranoia. They might start sharing posts that that have a common theme about like relationship turmoil or something. And then you start thinking, why are they sharing those things? It's because of me? And it might not be. They're just doing it to make you question their relationship. Even if there's nothing wrong with the relationship. Well, there is something wrong with the relationship. You're in a relationship with a narcissist. But they do it, again, for the crazy making. To increase your paranoia. To make you insecure. To make you doubtful. I'm not making this up. Start watching for these things if you think you're in a relationship with a narcissist. Okay? Another crazy thing they'll do, they don't all do this, but some of them will literally do this, which is nuts. They'll like block you. They'll block you. And you'll be like, why am I blocked? And you might not say anything because you don't want them to think that you're like checking their social media all day. And then you finally say something and they're like, oh, I didn't do that. Must be a system glitch. Let me go ahead and unblock you. And they'll unblock you. Then it happens again. Then you wait. You're like, oh, I don't want to say anything. I don't want them to think I'm stalking his social media profile or her social media profile. And again, the same thing. I don't know, this keeps happening. I didn't block you. See? I'm unblocking you right now. Same with the tags. I don't know why. I accepted your tag. It didn't show up. You know? It's stuff like that. Just lying. They have no inner gauge to tell them, like, don't do that. So they can lie, like, with a straight face. And that's what they do. I think that's it for now. I think that's enough, right? And this video is going on 30 minutes, which is long enough. If you have any more that you can think of social media mind games that narcissists play, feel free to post them below. Or if you have seen anything like this in your relationship or with anybody you know doing these things on social media, please feel free to comment below. If you disagree, that's fine too. Feel free to comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, please do so because I'll be posting more content. If you don't want to, that's fine too. That's your business. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great weekend. It is Friday, so it is almost the weekend here. And I appreciate your time today. Take care.